Kevin Durant. Will tempers boil over now into Game 4?
Back up,
Russell
PJ.
Wilson says he never requested a trade out of Seattle. Are we buying that from Russ? And hey, the Clippers, they find themselves down 0-2 in the series once again. And with that, we say good Friday morning. Everybody, welcome to First Things First. Jenna Wolf, Nick Wright, Brandon Marshall, Kevin Wiles. Oh, we've got a fun show today, but Nick, I got to start by asking you, do the Clippers have it in them? Do they have more rally in them?
Brutal.
Oh, at the risk of getting another angry phone call from my buddy Ty Lue, I think it might be over in Utah, Jenna. I think the Clippers are in real trouble.
Don't tell Brandon that. Do not tell Brandon. We'll get to that in a second. We got to start in Milwaukee, though. This game, Nets, Bucks, Game 3. We talked about how big this was for Giannis, who was obviously watching us talk about it yesterday, because who isn't watching us? Giannis turned in a 33-point performance, just enough to eke out the win and beat Brooklyn in Game 3. But the story in this one, the final seconds of the game, Bruce Brown, in for James Harden, had a go-ahead layup that just missed here. Could have passed to KD, could have passed to Kyrie. He's like, nah, I got this, guys. He didn't, in fact, have this. Lost the game. Here's Steve Nash on that possession.
Well, we all know that we want Kevin and Kai to shoot the ball, but if they don't get free, they got to make the right play. So we made the right play. You give some credit to the Bucks, and still we got some makeable looks. We can get better at executing. We can get better at handling those moments. And it was a great test for us tonight, and I think it was a lot for us to learn from it.
Yeah, we have a few end-of-game plays that we like to practice and run through. We had an opportunity to execute, and we failed to do so. So ended up in Bruce's hands with a contested layup. Usually Bruce puts us in a great position to at least have something at the rim that goes in, but tonight just didn't go for us. So it's not on him. It's not on any one person. Just got to execute. They really were physical down the stretch and made it tough. So you got to give them credit.
I don't know. Might be on him. I mean, Nick, what'd you make of Bruce Brown? Could have gone to KD. Could have gone to Kyrie. Some would say two pretty good shooters. Game 3 on the line. He takes it himself. What'd you make of it?
Well, no, it's not on Bruce Brown. And I don't blame Bruce Brown for having confidence there. Remember, before the season, on, I think, the ETC's podcast, Kyrie Irving said, it's great to finally have on my side a guy who can make those shots. And he was obviously talking about Bruce Brown. Oh, he was talking about Kevin Durant? Oh, so why didn't Durant get the ball? I don't know why Durant didn't get the ball, but let's look at that play again. Because Durant, after a rough 2.5 quarters to start the game, was spectacular late. He was the only guy late who seemed to be playing with any confidence and legs. Kyrie Irving, once again, was exhausted at the end of this game, which we can talk more about later. So if you were like me and you had bet on the Bucks, you were rooting for the Bucks, the one thing you didn't want was the ball in Kevin Durant's hands, which is why it was so nice. That's Kevin Durant in the far corner, just standing there. That's why it's so nice. Kevin Durant never flashed for the ball, never went and demanded to go get it, never was a part of the play. He took himself out of it, which helped the Bucks immeasurably. Right now, if you do a Twitter search for best player in the world, all you are going to get is people declaring Kevin Durant has officially, finally become the best player in the world. If that is true, he must be held to the best player in the world standard, which is not, you must take the final shot, but you got to be a part of the possession. You got to at least be in the action. And the possession before, by the way, KD was out floating at the three-point line, not touching the ball, which was another Bruce Brown miss. So this was a very interesting game for a million different reasons, Brandon. But you obviously were rooting for the Nets. I was rooting for the Bucks. You definitely wanted the ball in Kevin Durant's hands. I desperately wanted the ball not in Kevin Durant's hands, and it didn't end up in his hands. And part of that is because he's just standing there. So, yeah, Bruce had a bad shot, but KD didn't help him out there on that last possession.
Listen, I feel like this is a unwritten rule, like cardinal sin in the NBA. The game's on the line. You have to figure it out. Look, they had this last play with 11 seconds left in the game. It was a terrible inbounds pass. About time they picked it up, Bruce had 8 seconds left on the clock. So it couldn't have been one of those things where he thought he didn't have enough time to figure out how to get it to Kyrie, how to get it to KD. He had it and he took it. And he tried to go over Lopez. Come on, you can't go over Brook Lopez. Yeah. Lopez is 10 feet tall. Here's the deal. Yeah, you're right. KD have to figure out a way. You know, but at the end of the day, if you're KD, you got to be happy with the way your guys played. Bruce Brown is one of the reasons why they got here. So you give him the benefit of the doubt, but just look at him and say, hey, bro, you got to figure out how to get me the ball. You had 8 seconds left on that clock. Right. There was more than enough time. So here's the deal. Moving forward, you'll see a better Nets team. They were flat that entire game. I mean, both sides of the court, you know, and both teams super flat, and it was a terrible game to watch. It wasn't fun. It was boring. And then there was moments where you saw Chris Middleton step up and try to take over the game. And then, like you said, KD took over the game for a little spurt there. That was it. That was the game.
Just real quick, before we move on, Brandon.
Boring.
How dare you say this was a terrible game? Because this was a carbon copy of what I'm told is the golden era of NBA basketball, the Jordan era. You want to see a lot of games that look like 86, 85 rock fights? Turn on any of those Jordan playoff games, and you're going to find them. So, Jenna, I thought it was a great game. I thought it was amazing. Theater, drama. I thought it was spectacular, personally, Jenna.
Of course you did. Of course you did. You know, I got to give Wilds credit. Wilds, you sat on the show yesterday. You said, I'm not worried. Bucks are going to come home. They're going to do what they do at home. Everything's going to be fine. Brandon may not have liked the game, but how do you think Bucks fans should be feeling today after that Game 3 win?
Oh, well, Jenna, Bucks fans should be feeling like an enthusiastic math teacher, like Bill Nye the science guy. Because here's the thing. Math will save the Bucks. The Bucks got away with a win, but somehow they shot even worse than they did in Brooklyn. And just for the record, the Bucks are the 4th best three-point shooting team in the entire league. But in these 3 games, they shot 20%, then they shot a little better, 29%, and I was like, you know what? When they get home cooking, those shots will start to go in. Nope, actually got worse. Shot 19% and escaped with the win. So the good news is, this is why this should sound like a math teacher, the math will work out. Just keep shooting. You guys are good shooters. PJ Tucker missed all of his shots. He's one of the best shooters in the league from the corner. He's good. But just like a math teacher, Nick, I'm going to allow everybody to lead the class. Good job, good shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting. Yep. Hey, Giannis, can you stay after class? I want to talk to you. Yeah. You took 8 threes. You were not a good three-point shooter, my friend. No more threes for you. I'm sorry. And I know I just said math will save us. You are not good. And then I looked up, Nick, do you know he also was shooting threes against the Heat? He is 3 for 24 in the playoffs. 3 for 24. Yeah. Enough. You know what? I call it at 20. 3 for 24 is unacceptable. Yeah. No more threes. I know he's a star, but these bricks cannot happen anymore. For the love of God, one bounced over the rim and they had to stop the game.